Hey.
Hey?
So did you have as much trouble sleeping as I did?
I'm sorry?
My mind just wouldn't stop.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about? The secret attic, the pictures? Not the sort of thing you forget.
Look, I don't mean to be rude, but are you alright?
Of course I'm alright. What do you mean?
I mean, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What?
Sorry, Evelyn, but we haven't talked since the 3rd grade. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because we're friends?
We were. Until you and Cassie decided it wasn't cool anymore and stopped talking.
I have no idea what.
Look, Evelyn, I don't know what game you're playing, and I'm sure you and Cassie think it's hilarious, but I'm a little bored, alright? And if you don't mind, I have to go to class.
But Joe.
Nice talking to you again. Evelyn, maybe try again in another 8 years.
What are you doing?
They got to Joe.
Who did?
Whoever's behind this whole thing, the professor.
Professor? What are you talking about? Who was that?
What?
That guy. Who was he?
This is Erased, a mystery in 6 parts written and produced by the digital audio production class at Crockett High School's Studio 44. This is a show that asks the question, is someone real if no one remembers them? Chapter 6, Erased.
What do you mean, Chris? That's Joe.
Joe, wait. The guy from elementary school? Evie.
Oh yeah, I was just asking him about English class.
Oh, cool. It looks like I'm not going to need a ride home today. I'm going over to Nathan's to work on a project.
Just like that. I was alone. Or at least, I thought I was.
Were you able to get any sleep last night?
What?
I think I drifted off for like an hour or two. That was too much.
What was too much?
You're kidding me? Oh no, they got to you.
Who got to me? Cassie, what's going on?
You'll just think I'm crazy.
Not after the past few weeks I have had.
Do you remember what we did last night?
Yeah, you were at work and I was doing a project with Joey.
That's the thing, you weren't. Last night, you and I... We have to find someone private to talk. This is too open. Let's go to the library. Reference is always deserted. I didn't go to work last night. You and I were hanging out.
Doing what?
You aren't going to believe me. Have you ever heard of the name Dr. Richard Charles?
Yes.
Okay, well, some weird stuff has been going on, and we figured out this professor was involved in it somehow.
So we broke into this house to find more information.
So you do remember.
Not exactly.
But that's what we did.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't.
What?
Cassie, you aren't gonna believe what's going on. So I told her all of it. The disappearance, Joe finding me, the professor, Joe and Chris forgetting about all of it. Are you all right?
I've been better. This is a bit much to take in.
I know.
So I'm not really Cassie.
That's the thing. You might be. How do we know who anyone is anymore?
And Chris, he doesn't remember helping us?
No, he did yesterday, but today, nothing.
This is creepy.
We decided to play it cool and wait until after school and go over what we had found from the house. As far as I could tell, Cassie was genuinely scared as I was. It was the longest school day I can remember. As soon as the last bell rang, both of us headed straight back to my house. So, what's been going on with you?
A few weeks ago, your boyfriend Ken disappeared. Nobody seemed to remember him except you and me. It was like he had just been erased from existence. We looked everywhere we could, studied whatever we could to find, and it all led to this professor.
Professor Charles.
Yeah, he wasn't very helpful, but for some reason...
We thought he might know something.
Exactly.
The same thing happened to me, except...
I was the one who disappeared.
For a few weeks, then you showed up.
I imagine that was a bit jarring.
It was, but we found the professor, and there was a picture in his office.
The house?
Yeah, so we decided to break in.
Then I found that secret door with the stairs that led to the attic with all those pictures and things inside it.
I was able to get a handful of the pictures. What did you get?
The same. We divided the room and each took as many shots as we could.
Mine are mostly pictures of the photographs. They're all images that don't make sense, combinations of people that would never hang out together, me at places I've never been, doing things I've never done.
Mine aren't much different. Hold on, we need to get this on a bigger screen.
Airdrop it to my computer. What is that?
It looks like a journal?
I can barely make it out.
You were never any good at reading cursive, were you?
No.
I'm sorry. I forget that you don't know me.
No, well, you're right. But it's not just that. It's, even though you don't look the same, it feels like I'm with my Cassie.
Well, that's something.
Can you make anything out?
Not much. Test subject E seems to be... Introduction of C1 seems to have adverse. Subject J is making quick progress. Relocation of C. Providing additional introduction of mnemonic sequence 4.2 pending?
What do you think it means?
Could it be talking about us?
It's possible E, C, and J. Not exactly original, but...
Well, lit is science.
What do we do?
It feels like someone is playing a game with us, so I guess our only choice is to bring the game to them.
You're right. Do we want to call him or should I?
Neither. Let's go see him right now.
We went directly to the professor's office. We figured that if we called him, that would give him time to plan. If we caught him off guard, that might throw him off a little, and maybe he'd slip up and give us something.
Come in. Ah, Miss Sharp, Miss Ford. This is unexpected. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Sorry to just drop in, but...
We had some questions.
Of course, I'm happy to help.
How do you know us?
I'm sorry, what?
How do you know us?
I'm not quite sure what's going on here. Is this a joke?
No, it isn't.
Okay, well, Evelyn, a few weeks ago you called me several times. You were concerned about a missing friend?
Yeah, Cassie.
No, it was a guy. Your boyfriend? His name was Kenny. Yeah, you said he disappeared and that no one seemed to remember him.
And that was it?
No, there was a photograph, some strange recording, but not much more.
Except that I didn't.
What do you mean?
I mean, I don't know Ken or Kenny. I came and asked you about Cassie.
Who's that?
That's me.
And you came in here because she disappeared and no one remembered her.
That's right.
Well, it looks like your problem solved itself.
Not exactly.
How so?
Not long after I came to you, Cassie showed up.
Except I didn't.
All right, this is a bit confusing.
You have no idea.
Yeah, it turns out I'm not me.
Okay, I'm not sure I follow. Is this some sort of philosophical question?
No. This Cassie, I've never seen her before in my life.
Which is really confusing for me because I've known Evelyn my whole life.
Yeah, and she remembers almost everything.
Almost?
Yeah, there are little holes, little differences.
Wait, like what?
Monopoly, I made up all the house rules and you would rather not play than get stuck with the wheelbarrow.
But as soon as you said it, I remembered playing it that way. I remember being the wheelbarrow. I always joked about needing it to carry around all the money I was gonna make.
I'm sorry, but none of that happened. You always wanted to be the dog because it reminded you of the dog your parents had when you were a baby.
Yeah. Bonnie. I remember that.
See? Something's going on here. Is it possible that someone is messing with our memories?
I guess it's possible. I mean, memory suppression is a long shot.
Why?
Well, it's tricky.
Tricky how?
Well, okay, it's like I told you before. The human mind is incredibly complex, and you're not just talking about suppressing and implementing memories. You're talking about changing them.
How is that different?
It's the butterfly effect. Even things that seem insignificant can have profound implications.
Like what?
It's not like changing shoes or putting on a new shirt. Your memories, they connect. It's like a giant spider web. You remove or change one little thing and it shifts everything connected to it. All right, let me put it this way. Are either of you scared of anything?
Well, yes. Everyone is. Like, are you afraid of heights, deep water, clowns, something like that?
I don't like cats.
Perfect. Why?
When I was little, my parents had this horrible cat.
The gray one?
Yeah, Henrietta.
Henrietta?
She was the cat in the kingdom of make-believe on Mr. Rogers. Well, she was terrible, very antisocial. She would camp out on the stairs and attack me when I would pass by.
All right, okay, so suppose we removed every memory of that cat. You have absolutely no memory of that cat at all. Have there been any other cats that you've had, we'll call them bad interactions with?
Yeah, lots.
So, unless you had every negative memory you had connected to cats removed...
Then I would dislike cats and not have any idea why.
Exactly. You can remove the cause, but how do you remove the effect?
Would it be possible?
Theoretically, I guess so. It would take a lot of experimentation, a lot of trial and error, and it would be incredibly complex.
Complex how?
Well, okay, you'd need your test subjects, the people who you would suppress. You'd need a control representing the real world where nobody's memory's been changed, and you'd have to figure out a way to test how effective it is. And that's only if you found a technique that worked.
But is it possible?
Technically, yes, it's possible, but the level of difficulty involved makes it's highly improbable. And it's something I've never come across in my research.
Well, I guess there isn't much more to say, is there?
I'm sorry I couldn't be of more help. It really is a fascinating question. I just wish I could give you more assistance.
Well, we appreciate you trying.
Yes, thank you, Professor. We can show ourselves out.
Well, that guy was lying.
You noticed it too?
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but he was definitely hiding something. What do we do?
There's only one thing we can do.
We have to break in again, don't we?
Looks like it. There were only 2 of us this time, but we could do the same thing we did before. Cassie would keep an eye on the professor, and I could break into the house. This time, though, I wouldn't leave until I found what I needed.
My name is Cassandra Ford, and I want to tell you about my best friend, Evelyn Sharp. Well, Evie, as I like to call her. We've been best friends since we were 4 years old. That was the year we moved in next door to her. We spent almost every day together growing up. We were inseparable and went out of our way to be involved in our school as much as we could. Evie was especially kind. She always made time for people and went out of her way to support anyone who needed help. Which is why I can't believe nobody remembers her. A few weeks ago, Evie disappeared. She wasn't just gone. She didn't run away or get kidnapped. She disappeared, and no one seems to remember her. It's like she never existed. The only proof I have that she ever existed are the 6 recordings you just heard. I found them on an SD card, hidden in the lining of an old box of pictures I keep in my closet. Other than these recordings, every trace of her existence feels like it's been erased.
This has been Erased, a mystery in 6 parts written and produced by the digital audio production class at Crockett High School Studio 44. All music has been used under the Creative Commons license, and all artwork has been created by Jim Dirkes and Jesse Robles. The part of Evelyn has been played by Ashley Castanon. Chris has been played by Aidan Potts. Joe was played by Dylan Faeth. Dr. Charles was played by Jim Dirkes. Fake Cassie was played by Amara Johnson, and the part of real Cassie was played by Emily McClanahan.